The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 103. The character that De Bao had meticulously written turned out to be written wrongly. De Bao was sulky and unhappy. Even the peach blossom cookies that Fish Dad placed to the side while drinking milk didn't smell so delicious anymore. Liu was very concerned about these boys. It didn't take long for him to notice how different De Bao was. Liu didn't know the reason. However, normally when children were depressed, they would feel better if they have company. Therefore, Liu gathered all of the fish babies together, hoping that Air Bao, San Bao, and Sea Bao would help the dispirited De Bao recover a bit. Air Bao, San Bao, and Sea Bao surrounded De Bao. With tears in his eyes, De Bao turned his little chubby face away. Air Bao, San Bao, and Sea Bao thought in unison, "Why is Big Brother unhappy? Don't judge them by their infant outer appearance." Internally, they were fish brothers who had lived with each other for a long time and had an extremely close relationship. Why De Bao wasn't happy, De Bao didn't want to say. However, Sea Bao remembered that when his mood was down, Fish Dad would always use his mouth to nuzzle him. After being nuzzled, Sea Bao would feel very happy. Fish Dad said this was a kissy and that he could kiss people that he likes. Sea Bao liked his two fathers and also liked Big Brother. He can use kissy to make Big Brother happy. Got it? Sea Bao and called out twice, indicating for Air Bao and San Bao to look at him. He demonstrated it himself. Sea Bao pursed his little mouth and gave a smooch, kissing Big Brother on the cheek. De Bao. Air Bao and San Bao understood and both pursed their mouths, planning to move over. De Bao was so alarmed his scream could break glass. Ah! What are you guys doing? Air Bao, chew, smooch. San Bao, chew, smooch. De Bao, help. De Bao underwent his little brother's baptism of love and could endure no longer. Air Bao and San Bao actually just kissed De Bao blindly. Sea Bao was different though. Not only did he kiss Big Brother, he wanted Big Brother to kiss back, otherwise, he would not stop kissing him. Covered in saliva all over his face because of Sea Bao's kisses, De Bao was at his last straw. Finally, he abandoned all hope. Wasn't it just kisses? I can do it also. With tears in his eyes, De Bao hugged Sea Bao with his little arms and legs and gave him a tiny, little kiss. Liu, who had been observing this entire time, ha 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 ha. As expected of Sea Bao. The thing that even Yeching Huan couldn't do, the little Sea Bao managed to do it. Because of this event, Liu discovered that De Bao became much more animated. Before this, De Bao was often by his lonesome. Clearly he was a little infant, yet he always had such a serious expression and wasn't very sociable. Now, as soon as he saw his little brothers, he would start flailing both his arms and legs. Air Bao, San Bao, and the joyous Sea Bao, Big Brother, we come to give kisses. De Bao in disdain, go away. Watching his sons being rowdy together, Liu said to Jingwang with a sense of accomplishment, Tianqi, look. Surely, little children are happier when they're together. The corner of Jingwang's mouth twitched. According to what he observed, De Bao didn't really seem happy. However, Jingwang wouldn't expose this truth. Making Xiaoyu happy was the most important. Over at the sixth prince's side, Mu Tianxiao had just been impeached for accepting bribes. Although he made sure that there would be no evidence that would implicate his own person, he had to let his subordinates took the blame on his behalf. The emperor couldn't directly punish, but having his subordinates captured put him in a difficult spot. For Mu Tianxiao to reach his current position, he had to betray the third prince. Thus, he knew deep inside that he couldn't completely trust the former subordinates of the third prince. The number of confidants he considered trustworthy was few and far between. The advantage was that secrets couldn't be easily leaked. However, the disadvantage was that, with a mere imperial edict from the emperor, he really didn't have anyone he let that he could use. And this was all because of his wedding. He was desperate to win over the Yu family's Marquis of Dingbei. The Marquis of Dingbei was similar to the Duke of Chang'an. They were both old aristocratic families that survived for generations. It was actually extremely hard to curry favor with the Marquis of Dingbei. He didn't even soften for relatives and only loved his daughter dearly. Therefore, Mu Tianxiao wanted to make sure this marriage was secured. The Marquis of Dingbei and his daughter were both genuine nobility and had plenty of experience with everything in this realm. The sixth prince couldn't count on some paltry little tricks to persuade Marquis of Dingbei to help him and could only take a risk out of desperation. Originally exploiting the assignment of renovating the palace wasn't something easily exposed. As long as the palace was constructed and repainted, who would specifically take it apart to take a look at the wood? Therefore, when the wood-selling merchant contacted him, wanting to do business with him, he knew the opportunity to become rich had arrived. In addition to this, he also had some offerings from his subordinates. This marriage wasn't an easy thing to obtain. Who would have expected that such an inconspicuous thing would still be discovered by Zheng Jing? Not to mention, Zheng Jing even complained to the emperor and accused him of misconduct. Was the official not worried about offending him? Mu Tianxiao recalled that when he renovated Zhongkui Palace on imperial orders, Zheng Jing also guided him the same way as he guided Jing Wang, treating him in a friendly manner with plenty of care. It made him feel like this person had a good sense of judgment. Who would have imagined that this person was actually vicious enough to stab him in the back? Mu Tianxiao wanted to counterattack and look for Zheng Jing's weakness. However, he really didn't have anyone he could order to do this task. In addition, Zheng Jing was really an upright and moral person. The sixth prince had no way of taking a bite out of this iron block. However, no matter how vicious Zheng Jing was, he couldn't compare to the emperor. The emperor's imperial edict looked like he was giving the sixth prince leniency, making it seem as if sixth prince wasn't really implicated here and also didn't receive any punishment. However, the subordinates that he had arduously gathered were all gone in an instant. Mu Tianxiao really hated the emperor and hated Zheng Jing even more. However, this hatred was just like the circumstances of his birth, weak and powerless. He would have preferred it if the emperor gave him corporal punishment instead. Tianxiao, it's only a few servants. No need to feel so distressed. Mother can give you a few more maids. How does that sound? Mu Tianxiao's birth mother concubine Zhang consoled him gently. Because Mu Tianxiao's current status was not the same anymore, concubine Zhang also had plenty of people fawning over her now. Naturally, she gained more confidence when speaking with her own son. However, her words almost made Mu Tianxiao laugh. Mu Tianxiao trembled uncontrollably. How hilarious! His mother was only able to wear gold and silver because of him, yet she didn't even know what he needed the most. Meanwhile, Empress Xiao Hui have died more than 20 years ago, yet she could still protect Jing Wang. Empress Xiao Hui's maternal family, Chang'an Palace, supported Jing Wang so much. This was the difference between an empress and a palace maid. In the end, Mu Tianxiao didn't speak any of this aloud. He only made concubine Zhang exercise restraint in the near future. He couldn't let the emperor seize any more of his weakness. Concubine Zhang agreed in the end. With the third prince and the second prince as examples of the consequences of misconduct, she only acted imposingly behind closed doors. In front of the emperor, she was still an honest quail. However, after hearing Mu Tianxiao's words, other than agreeing, concubine Zhang felt somewhat bewildered. With the current situation, other than choosing her son as the heir, who else could the emperor pick? Without any assistance, Mu Tianxiao couldn't act blindly without thinking. Furthermore, he still suspected that there was something wrong with Jing Wang's children. Princess consort Jing was highly suspicious, too. Mu Tianxiao had sent his most loyal subordinate to investigate in the west frontier. This person told him that he can set up a scheme to catch Princess consort Jing. However, afterwards, he lost contact with that person. Mu Tianxiao was afraid that this person had died. At the same time, he was also hoping that this person could really find Jing Wang's weakness. Therefore, he continued waiting every day. It wasn't until the emperor visited the imperial study himself and started to treat the 7th prince and 8th prince differently that Mu Tianxiao suddenly realized, right now was not the time for him to relax. Other than Jing Wang, the emperor still had 2 younger sons. They also had the possibility of ascending the throne. Mu Tianxiao wanted to make the 2 princes lose the emperor's favor without anyone realizing it was him. However, his loyal subordinates were all gone and he couldn't find any suitable person to help him at the moment. He definitely wouldn't do it himself, even if dealing with someone this young was very easy. He was just frustrating over his worries when someone found him instead. "Your Highness, I can help you resolve your problems." From behind a bamboo hat covered by a cloth veil, Chu Yanyu revealed his hazy eyes, staring at the 6th prince unblinkingly. Seeing him, Mu Tianxiao was extremely shocked. Ever since Jing Wang left the imperial capital and went to the west frontier, the people from the Qingxi courtyard of the Jing estate were pulled out one by one and questioned about their future plans. If they wanted to leave, they were allowed to leave. This was when Chu Yanyu left the Jing estate. Chu Yanyu had followed Mu Tianxiao since childhood. He had no other place to go. Therefore, he returned to the 6th prince's estate to find Mu Tianxiao. Mu Tianxiao had allowed him to stay. However, at that time, the 6th prince already knew that the emperor would be appointing him a marriage. Even though Chu Yanyu was right in front of him, he didn't actually increase the closeness of their relationship. Chu Yanyu also acted like he didn't exist. It was only on Mu Tianxiao's wedding, before he went to greet the bride, that Chu Yanyu ran in front of him and asked if he really was about to get married. Mu Tianxiao had nothing to hide, thinking back when he forcibly handed Chu Yanyu to the Jing estate. Chu Yanyu should have known already that before he obtained the throne, it would be impossible for the 2 of them to be together publicly. The 6th prince once promised Chu Yanyu that he would save a spot for Chu Yanyu by his side. However, it definitely wouldn't be the main wife. The position of main wife was occupied now. However, even if it wasn't, it wouldn't belong to Chu Yanyu. Mu Tianxiao also needed heirs himself. Mu Tianxiao was worried that Chu Yanyu would do something excessive. However, Chu Yanyu only stood there in a daze for a while and then walked away dispiritedly. Even now, with the 6th prince's main wife already married into the family, she still didn't know that there was this young Master Chu inside the estate. You heir, what are you saying? How do you plan to help me?" Somewhat hopeful, Mu Tianxiao asked carefully. Chu Yanyu was smart and had the 6th prince in his heart ever since he was young. Mu Tianxiao was very much aware of this and felt pretty confident in Chu Yanyu. Before, he didn't make any progress in the Jing estate. It was only because Jing Wang's personality was way too eccentric. Therefore, there's no need to blame Chu Yanyu because of that. Chu Yanyu paused briefly and said, "You are currently lacking manpower, Your Highness. I can become your eyes and a helping hand in the palace." "Really?" Mu Tianxiao was ecstatic internally. His birth mother was slow-witted and not favored by the emperor. If there were someone else in the emperor's harem helping him, it would make up for plenty of his deficiencies. However, you just returned from Jing Wang's estate, will this work? Mu Tianxiao asked cautiously. "Your Highness, you know that I didn't have any relationship with Jing Wang." Chu Yanyu's voice was soft and gentle, even containing a faint kind of sulking that would only appear between 2 lovers. When he was in the Jing estate, he was malnourished and sickly in appearance, and did not look very good. In these last few days at the 6th prince's estate, he had already recovered, regaining his appearance as a stunning and gorgeous youth. Excited, Mu Tianxiao grabbed one of his hands. What I mean is you've entered the Jing estate before and now need to become the emperor's concubine. Would you feel that this is unfair? You heir, if you aren't willing, please let me know. You know I really do hate to part with you. Chu Yanyu gently shook his head, saying, my only wish right now is to help you achieve your dream, Your Highness. Please permit me to do this. As Chu Yanyu spoke, he actually started kneeling. Mu Tianxiao hastily pulled him up. He didn't doubt Chu Yanyu's devotion towards him. Otherwise, why would Chu Yanyu accept being arranged to enter the Jing estate back then? If Chu Yanyu could really enter the palace. Mu Tianxiao quickly thought about it. According to Chu Yanyu's appearance, even many beautiful women couldn't compare. Inside the emperor's harem, he would still be an outstanding figure. If Chu Yanyu was willing to step forth, Mu Tianxiao was pretty confident in making this come true. Mu Tianxiao made his decision. Helping Chu Yanyu up, he said tenderly, please get up. I'll be relying on you in the future then. Chu Yanyu nodded his head. Through the veil, Mu Tianxiao couldn't see the extremely faint, ambiguous smile that bloomed across his face. To be able to help Your Highness is my duty. Chu Yanyu has already waited for a very long time. This was exactly what he was hoping for. Mu Tianxiao was actually pretty resourceful in his method of setting up Chu Yanyu. First, he made Chu Yanyu into his own personal bodyguard and brought him into the palace. Concubine Zhang, a palace maid who was able to climb into the emperor's bed after he became inebriated, also had her own unique methods. Not long after the lunar festival, the emperor drank a bit much and ended up resting at concubine Zhang's Yongfu palace, which was nearby. The next day, there was the addition of a new beauty in the palace, the stunningly gorgeous concubine Chu. This concubine Chu, however, was actually a man. Chu Yanyu. He became the emperor's male concubine. When Wang Shi casually reported this news, Li Yu was extremely astonished. Was there anything more fantastical than this? The Gong Xiao pair from the original novel. He had married the Gong and gave birth to a bunch of small fish baby sons. Meanwhile, the Xiao ran off and got together with the Gong's father, and successfully became the Gong's stepfather. Wait, a male wife counted as concubine, but he shouldn't also count as Jing Wang's stepfather. Ayo. Li Yu didn't even know how to address him anymore. Didn't he stayed in the Jing estate? How did he run off to the imperial palace? After being stunned for quite a while, Li Yu finally remembered to ask this. Li Yu had actually thought about this before. After they returned, Chu Yanyu would have stayed in the Jing estate for an entire year already. Jing Wang's ire must have dissipated by that point. Li Yu could ask Jing Wang to let Chu Yanyu leave. However, what he never imagined was that Chu Yanyu had managed to become a palace concubine. How did he do this? Wang Shi glanced at Jing Wang's expression and then said, when His Highness and the princess consort left the imperial capital, plenty of people were permitted to leave the estate. So it was like this. Jing Wang had released him a long time ago. Chu Yanyu didn't secretly run off himself. Li Yu finally understood. Chu Yanyu didn't manage to achieve anything inside the Jing estate. After he was released, he definitely returned to his dream lover, the sixth prince. If this were the case, then how did he end up in the palace? Wang Shi said vaguely, the emperor got drunk at a banquet. The sixth prince and his accompanying bodyguard just happened to be visiting concubine Zhang. This old servant heard that concubine Chu received his title inside Yongfu Palace. Wang Shi spoke vaguely, but Li Yu could interpret it himself. Didn't this mean that the sixth prince gave Chu Yanyu to the emperor himself? After a time span of more than a year, Mu Tianxiao was still the same scumbag. How could Chu Yanyu tolerate this? Oh. He probably would be happy. After all, Chu Yanyu's thought process was different from normal people. The guy entered the Jing estate back then also for the sake of the sixth prince. Who knows, perhaps whether Chu Yanyu belonged to Jing Wang or belonged to the emperor, didn't have that much of a difference. Li Yu imagined a whole bunch of random stuff and then noticed that the babies were all listening. Si Bao, especially, was blinking a pair of shiny bright eyes. Li Yu knew they could understand and hastily covered their ears. Bestowing titles after a drunken night or something like that sounded like Grandpa was a bit unreliable here. Hopefully the boys won't be misguided. Li Yu was somewhat worried about Jing Wang at the same time. It wasn't because he was afraid Jing Wang had feelings towards Chu Yanyu. That was definitely impossible. Instead, he was afraid this would affect Jing Wang's opinion of the emperor. In Jing Wang and many people's hearts, the emperor had extremely deep feelings towards Empress Xiaohui. Would Jing Wang feel like the emperor had forsaken the previous empress? When he thought about this, Li Yu stopped worrying about covering the baby's ears and went to hold Jing Wang's hand, saying, "Tianqi, don't feel sad." Jing Wang. The emperor had 3 palaces and 6 courtyards, why would Jing Wang care? He also didn't want to comment on the emperor's decision here. Seeing Li Yu wanting to comfort him, however, Jing Wang frowned accordingly, but his eyes were full of deep love. Li Yu wrapped his arm around Jing Wang's elbow and said in a low negotiating tone, "Please don't take it to heart. How about we bring out the mermaid tonight?" Li Yu wanted to give His Highness a change in activity so his mood would get better. With a smile, Jing Wang nodded his head in agreement, "All right." After the Double Ninth Festival, the weather became somewhat cold in the west frontier. They could heat the room up a bit and prepare a huge tub. If he didn't presume wrong, perhaps their whole family will be heading out on a journey soon. Ganqing Palace, where the emperor was. In the emperor's eyes, to bestow someone a title after a drunken night at his age and while in another imperial concubine's palace too, was a very humiliating thing. Not to mention that this person was a man, and a prince's personal bodyguard. The emperor had to take responsibility for his fault and had no choice but to accept the person into his harem. The emperor was very ashamed. This kind of frustration, he had felt this before when he granted concubine Zhang, who was still a palace maid of Changchun Palace back then, her title after a drunken night. Now he was experiencing it once again. In order to make himself less upset, the emperor started thinking about Jing Wang. Ordering Jing Wang to leave the imperial capital took the emperor several hours of back and forth consideration. However, the following decision he made was very swift, because this decision had been ruminating in his mind already in the last few days. Luo Ruisheng, draft an imperial edict for me. Summon Jing Wang back. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 104. When the emperor's imperial edict summoning Jing Wang back to the capital arrived, the fish babies were already 6 months old. Other than drinking milk, they could also eat some pureed rice. The peach blossoms cookies that the fish babies had craved all day and night were also smashed so they could eat them. However, in ancient times, royal families weren't actually in a hurry to wean their children off milk. Instead, royal children were allowed to drink milk for as long as they wanted. The wet nurse had thought that it would be the same with Jing Wang's children. However, Li Yu was aware that in the modern era, little infants as young as 6 months old could be weaned. Nevertheless, he liked to follow the local customs. Also, people all said that drinking milk was very nutritious. Drinking it for a longer period of time wasn't a problem with him. Unexpectedly though, once De Bao reached 6 months old, he absolutely refused to drink milk anymore and only ate thick congee, successfully weaning himself off. Following De Bao's lead, Air Bao, San Bao and imitated him and refused to drink milk as well, each and every one of them stretching out their necks, crying loudly to eat thick congee. They didn't even look at the wet nurse. If the wet nurse picked them up and tried to force feed them, even the most well-tempered and always smiling, Fourth little master would throw a tantrum, twisting his body away and pointing his little butt at the wet nurse. For the first time, the wet nurse felt such rejection. She even started to doubt herself. Was it her milk? Did it have something that the little masters all disliked to drink? Liu was well aware of what's going on. The fish babies weren't normal infants at all. They had their individual needs. However, Liu couldn't explain this and could only comfort the wet nurse. For a family such as Jingwang to hire a wet nurse, it meant he was going to support her for the rest of her life. The wet nurse didn't need to worry about her future. Seeing that she no longer needed to feed the baby's milk, Liu just asked her to spend more time looking after the babies. The wet nurse agreed happily. The little masters already looked very smart. Perhaps they really were different from normal little babies? Jingwang was also somewhat worried about the children's health. Liu promised repeatedly that there would be no big issue with weaning them off milk at 6 months. Of course Jingwang trusted Xiaoyu. This matter with the babies being weaned very quickly passed. When the emperor's imperial edict arrived, Jingwang ordered people to start packing. Because he had long expected this day would come, he had pretty much made all arrangements for his official business in the West Frontier. Jingwang officially granted the original mayor of the town a proper government position and handed the work over to him. The bandits had been taken care of. Currently, the West Frontier was peaceful. The 2 squads of imperial guards that the emperor had sent to protect Jingwang requested them to remain in the West Frontier for a few more days to assist the mayor. In addition, Jingwang had trained a group of local soldiers. He also handed these people over to the mayor. The handing off of official business was advancing smoothly without any issues at all. The only thing left was packing away the luggage in the estate. Before coming to the West Frontier, Jingwang was still unmarried, bringing along his boyfriend, young Master Li. Now on the way back, it was Jingwang and his husband, along with 4 little sons. Not only did the number of people change, the luggage also increased by several fold. Just the boys' clothes, toys, and diapers filled up several carriages. They had to also bring the wet nurse, many other people responsible for taking care of the children and the several doctors that originally came with them to the West Frontier. The teachers that Jingwang had found for the children despite being no longer required, also had to be brought back to the capital as well. Liu got married to Jingwang in Lufeng town. This was where he had the fish babies. The Jing estate in Lufeng town was a special place to him. It was like his other home. Liu was really reluctant to part with this home. He looked around left and right, touching stuff here and there, trying to see if there's anything he wanted to bring with him. The fish tanks, crystal bottles, and all of the fish pillows were necessities. He also wanted to bring the 2 ducks that were raised in the courtyard with him. Liu had obtained these 2 ducks from the duck farm when they were only 2 little fuzzy ducklings. Now, they've long grown into 2 big fat ducks. Although Liu had said verbally that after ducks grow up, they become ugly, he actually really liked them deep inside. The 4 babies, who watched the ducklings gradually grew big and ugly, also liked them. Liu, who loved eating roasted ducks, had never even considered roasting these 2 ducks. Wang Shi wrote down all of the things Liu wanted to bring in a booklet. Seeing this situation, he attempted to dissuade Liu with a smile. "Princess consort, please think carefully. It might not be easy to bring these 2 ducks along on the journey. We really can't." Liu felt a bit reluctant. If they were left behind, there's no one to take care of them. Wang Shi replied, "This old servant already bought this residence and land from the mayor. No one else will live here. There will be a few servants remaining the residence here. You can order them to feed the ducks." But, Liu knew what Wang Shi meant and also knew that this was the proper course of action. However, if the ducks were left behind, he definitely won't be able to see them again in the future. Jingwang was a man destined to become the emperor. Liu knew very well that this year in the West Frontier was just to pave the way for Jingwang's future. After returning to the imperial capital, Jingwang would inevitably display his brilliance. It was impossible for Li Yu and Jingwang to step a foot back in the west frontier again. Wang Gonggong, can we really not bring them? Aren't we bringing fish as well? Ducks don't take up any space and can walk themselves. We only need to bring enough food, that's all, right? Li Yu just felt like there must be some little space in the carriages where they can place the ducks. Wang Gonggong thought internally, how was bringing fish and ducks the same thing? Herding 2 ducks back to the imperial capital from the west frontier, wasn't this a little too crazy? The corner of Wang Shi's lips twitched. They probably won't be able to withstand the bumpy trip. Li Yu still wanted to fight for the ducks. Jingwang, who saw his distress from afar, walked over and held his hand. At the same time, he gave a criticizing glance at Wang Shi. With a chill running up his back, Wang Shi immediately corrected himself and said, "Yes. We should be able to bring them. This old servant will go make the arrangement right now. We will bring the 2 ducks immediately." Jingwang nodded his head with approval. He wasn't actually criticizing Wang Shi harshly here. Wang Shi's thought process was appropriate and normal. However, Jingwang knew that this home meant a lot to Xiaoyu. When they left the imperial capital, Xiaoyu didn't have any objections nor made any demands because at that time, their status was not confirmed yet. The Jing estate in the imperial capital was more like a normal residence to Xiaoyu. This estate here was the place where they got married and had children. Xiaoyu was a lord of this estate. Naturally, he should be able to decide what to take and what to leave behind. The princess consort words should be followed as instructed. Jingwang indicated this with his eye expression. Wang Shi nodded his head non-stop, saying to himself internally that he was really foolish just now. How dare he attempted to change young Master Li's mind? Young Master Li was already the princess consort. In other words, his master. If his master wanted to do something, he should support it wholeheartedly. Wang Shi stated respectfully, "Please give this old servant a chance to prove myself. I will definitely do it well." Li Yu didn't understand what Jingwang had gestured to Wang Shi wordlessly. However, Wang Shi actually agreed to bring the ducks unexpectedly. Li Yu was extremely happy. "Then I'll leave this to Wang Gonggong," Li Yu stated. Wang Shi swiftly said, the princess consort was most welcome, and practically flew out to make the preparations. He first found a few appropriately sized duck cages. Then he went to ask the servants if anyone had raised ducks before. Because the ducks can't be suffocated with the luggage, he prepared an additional handcart to place the duck cages. Looks like it wasn't impossible to bring the ducks after all. It was just how to bring the ducks. After that, whenever Li Yu wanted to bring anything, Wang Shi only concerned himself with nodding his head and making arrangements. On the day of departure, Li Yu held the children and looked at the rather abundant amount of carriages with slight shame. He seemed to have emptied out the entire estate completely. "It's all right." With a smile, Jingwang squeezed his hand and then handed him a piece of paper. "Another note?" "All right," the fish consort was used to this. He accepted it to see what Jingwang had to say now. This time, the words that Jingwang wanted to say was Xiaoyu's dowry. Li Yu's face instantly flushed red. "Dowry your head." When they came here, the carriage that Li Yu had sat on was already very spacious. This time, Jingwang increased the size of the carriage by quite a bit again. In the original arrangement, Wang Shi had the wet nurse and the 4 other children sit in another carriage. However, Li Yu insisted on keeping the babies by his side, not minding their crying and fussing. The fish babies also wanted to be near their fish dad. Therefore, Jingwang allowed it with a smile. However, Jingwang didn't actually want Li Yu and the wet nurse to stay in the same carriage together for a long time. Therefore, he simply abandoned his horse and sat into the carriage with Li Yu himself to help take care of the children. The wet nurse was brushed aside again. She felt incredulous and whispered her complaints to Wang Gonggong. Wang Gonggong sighed and said unhurriedly, "No need to be surprised. This is how His Highness cherishes the princess consort and loves the four little masters. You came late, but there will be even more of this kind of display in the future." The wet nurse believed deeply that Wang Gonggong's words were true. The entourage of people started on their journey successfully. However, after walking out not even half a mile, Wang Shi, who was outside, suddenly called to stop the carriage and asked Jing Wang and Li Yu to look out the window. Jing Wang lifted the window curtain. They immediately saw the civilians of the West Frontier kneeling all along the side of the road. The mayor in the lead explained to Jing Wang. After learning that Jing Wang was returning to the imperial capital, the townspeople came specifically to send him off. Jing Wang eliminated the bandits and also dealt with the locust plague, making the lives of the peasants prosperous. The method that they used to show their appreciation was extremely simple. They placed all of their good stuff, food, drinks, usable items, inside a bamboo basket, to be given to Jing Wang and his princess consort. In the crowd, the old granny, who was once assisted by Jing Wang, had brought her grandson and was kowtowing to him non-stop. There were also the little infants that Li Yu had ordered the guards to save from the hands of the bandits. Later on, their parents were found by the guards. Now, carrying those infants in their arms, the parents also came to see Jing Wang and Li Yu off. Li Yu felt somewhat teary-eyed, but he didn't really know what to say. There was no need to say anything. Just like on the day of the wedding, he just waved towards them. The civilians said loudly in unison, "Safe travels, Your Highness and Princess Consort Zheng." The peasants of the West Frontier were too friendly. There was even chicken, ducks, pigs, and sheep in the gifts that they brought. Deciding that it was impossible to bring everything with them, Jing Wang let Li Yu handle this. Li Yu thought for a moment and ordered Wang Shi to keep 2 red chicken eggs and a roasted duck as souvenirs. He knew that the lives of peasants weren't easy. He asked the peasants to take back the rest of the stuff. The peasants said their farewells again. When Jing Wang and Li Yu officially left Lufeng town, it was 2 hours later. Li Yu looked at the crowd of peasants that had become a small dot behind him and thought, if there's a chance in the future, he will do much more for this nice group of people. When Jing Wang had left the imperial capital, they were in no rush. Returning to the imperial capital, it was the same calm journey. Because of the presence of the children, their pace had slowed down even more. Li Yu even felt a bit like they were taking a scenic tour. Jing Wang was still the same as when they came. Every time they passed a town, he would change the meals for Li Yu and bring him local snacks to eat. Walking around the unfamiliar towns, he always held onto Li Yu's hand tightly, like he was afraid Li Yu would suddenly fly away or something. Li Yu thought briefly. This was the man who still thought he was a Carpio but was always protecting him anyways. This was also the man helping him take care of their children together. Li Yu found it funny but also felt touched. Who said that men stopped cherishing their partners after marriage? Jing Wang was treating him better and better. The moment they reached the imperial capital, the main mission that hadn't been released for quite a while, for so long that Li Yu had almost forgotten about the shitty system, finally updated and reminded Li Yu of its existence. Notification: the main mission Share the Rivers and Mountains with the Tyrant has started. Please examine it promptly and obtain the task's information. Finally, the last mission had appeared. Li Yu was excited but then quickly calmed down. Share the Rivers and Mountains, was this the rivers and mountains the one that he was thinking of? The shitty system always gave romance-related tasks before. Wasn't the difficulty of this last one a bit too hard? Discussing rivers and mountains with Jing Wang, this definitely was indicating something after he obtained the throne. In other words, to do this task, he most likely had to wait for Jing Wang to win the fight for the throne. Seeing that he managed to complete all of his missions previously, no matter how eccentric it was, this task should also be the same, right? Sharing the land with the tyrant. This wasn't the same as being lovey-dovey. Empresses didn't even have a say in governance. Through the corner of his eyes, Liu glanced at the man holding his hand. For once, he questioned his heart. Did this person really love him enough to share the nation together with him? If you must know, power over the nation was not the same thing as anything else. This was something that many would abandon love and intimacy for. However, Liu remembered that he once agreed to trust in Jingwang. Then, he'll just tentatively believe that they could successfully complete this last mission as well. After arriving in the imperial capital, although they were very tired, the first thing that they have to do was to enter the imperial palace to visit the emperor. Jingwang brought along Liu, the two of them each carrying two babies. Wang Shi swiftly ran to Ganqing Palace to announce their arrival. Luo Ruisheng received the emperor's orders and waited outside of the palace. Seeing Jingwang's family from afar, he immediately came to greet them. Luo Ruisheng has never seen Liu before and politely made his salutations. When he saw Erbao and Sanbao in Liu's arms, as well as Debao in Jingwang's arms, head steward Luo couldn't hold back from laughing out loud. They looked too much alike. Especially the little heir who looked exactly like a copy of Jingwang when he was a little baby himself. Head steward Luo was going to exchange some more pleasantries, but the emperor couldn't wait anymore and impatiently exited the palace himself. "Where is Jingwang?" The emperor walked over as he called out loudly. The sound of his voice hadn't even quieted yet when the emperor froze as well. Jingwang was standing a few feet away with a delicate-looking youth nestled against his side. The two people each held two babies in their arms. When Jingwang saw the emperor, he hastily pulled Liu to kneel and bow. The emperor ordered head steward Luo to help them up. Examining Jingwang for a while, he exclaimed, "You look a little darker, but also sturdier." The emperor then looked towards Liu, who was by Jingwang's side. He felt that this youth's lively bright eyes, red lips, and white teeth, looked very pleasing to the eye. The emperor already figured it out and asked with a smile, "You're Liu?" Under their sleeves, Jingwang gently squeezed Liu's hand. Liu understood what he meant. Also, the emperor wasn't really a stranger to him. Therefore, he confidently said to the emperor, "Greetings to imperial father-in-law." The emperor felt very gratified from hearing this, as if he gained a few more sons again. Then seeing the two people before him, he felt that regardless of appearances or temperaments, they matched very well and looked like a good pair. The emperor kindly nodded his head. Debao and Sibao were both being carried by Jingwang. On their way here, Liu informed the fish babies already. Debao knew this man wearing a strange gold garment was his grandpa. However, Debao still didn't know how to speak yet. Lately, whenever he opened his mouth, drool would start dripping from it. Debao was afraid of embarrassing himself. Therefore, he instinctively kept his mouth closed and imitated the adults. He cupped his chubby hands together and saluted towards Grandpa. The emperor's gaze instantly landed on Debao. He was immediately stunned. After a long time, the emperor said with a smile, "Tianqi, this child really takes after you. He even looks the same as when you're a baby, a little fatty." Jingwang, who had been strenuously searching for the little fatty for a long time. Wang Shi, Yeching Huan and the others all didn't dare to call Jingwang a little fatty directly to his face. Only the emperor had no such fears. Finally, Jingwang realized it. Was the little fatty that Xiaoyu had mentioned before was actually himself? End chapter.